Hey everybody, I am going to be modeling and texturing this rowboat. And the idea and basically the technique for doing this came from another tutorial by BlenderBrit. So I'll put the link in the description for that, and thank you very much for doing that for us, BlenderBrit. And I just thought I'd just put my own spin on this. The other thing that I'm going to be doing, though, is I'm going to be providing the reference images. Now, they're not anything astounding, just something that I drew very similar to what he had, but I couldn't find his images. And so I'm going to make this available, and you can just download it and follow along using this. All right, so I'll have that available to you, and the link to BlenderBrit's rowboat video tutorial as well. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm in the startup scene of Blender here, and I've got my screencast keys on. I am going to, I think, select everything and X delete it all, switch over to cycles render, and over here I'm going to switch over to GPU compute. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Now, I put some guides on here, left view and top view. We're going to be using the same image, but we're just going to be moving it around so that you can model the left side of this, which will also double for the right side, and then the top. All right, so the first thing we want to do is go to a left view, and that's Control 3 and then 5 for ortho. Okay, so Control 3 on the numpad, and then 5 to be an ortho view. To get that background image in, I'm going to hit N, and I'm going to come down here to background images, and I'm going to add image, and I'm going to switch this right now where it says axis. I'm going to switch that to left right away. I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to find where I've stored that image. All right, and it's rowboat background image right there. Okay, so there you can see it. Now I want to use this for the left, so there's my 3D cursor. I want it roughly in the middle, although it wouldn't really matter. So I am going to adjust, let's see, which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, I'm going to pull this up. All right, even right to there, that's good enough. That's roughly centered right here. And so that is the left side. All right, so if I go into another view, let's say 7 for top view, I don't see it, or 3 for right view, I don't see it. Control 3, I see it, and I've got my 3D cursor right there. I also want to add the same image for the top. So I'm going to click on Add Image, and I'm going to switch this from all views to top, and then I'm going to open, it should be in memory, then I'm going to open the same image. All right, so let's hit 7 for the top. All right, so 3 again, right side I don't see it, 7 I do. But I want to move this image so that the 3D cursor is along right there. All right, so I'm going to move this. Actually, I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to rotate this 90, and then I'm going to change this to minus 0.83. I think is approximately the number. So if you're setting this up, you can do the same thing as me. That's actually now set up. So I did have to rotate it 90 degrees, and you'll see how that works out in just a minute. All right, so just use those same values if you want to get it pretty close to mine. I'm going to hit N to close that, and I've got that in. I'm going to start with the left, so Control 3. And I'm going to use a cube. So I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh Cube, and I'm going to go into Edit Mode and Z for wireframe. And I'm going to scale this into Z, SZ, down to the approximate thickness, and then SY to scale it in the Y, and I'm going to pull it out to about there. Now, if I was to hit 7, you'll see that it lines up with that image, and that's why I rotated the image 90 degrees. All right, so if I go Control 3 and back to the left. Okay, now, in my diagram, you can see these dotted lines that say edge loop, so I'm going to add in 3 edge loops. I'm going to go Control R, that'll put in 1, roll my mouse wheel up once, twice. I now accept that. All right, I now have 3 edge loops roughly where I need them. They don't have to be exactly on the same spot, so that's good enough. Now remember, this is a cube, all right? So don't just go clicking on one vertex and moving it like that, because you'll get that kind of effect. Instead, what we're going to do, Control 3, deselect, I'm going to box select. If I go B while I'm in wireframe, all right, that's important, because if I wasn't in wireframe and I try just to box select, I'm only going to get that front vertex, what can be seen. So do it in wireframe, and that way you can see the back of the image. I'm going to go Control B, and I'm going to pull this up like that. All right. And you can do these in any order that you really want to. I'm going to pull that back so I get a little bit of a slope there. All right, and grab this one. I can pull it up a little bit. And just basically organizing the vertices to follow the shape of the boat. All right, like that. And then this one down here, I'm going to pull up. And it doesn't have to be exact. You know, it's just a reference image there to guide you along, give you something to follow instead of just doing it by heart or by eye. And that's it right there. Now, if we look from the top view, we can see that we've got it laid out on top of the top view. All right, and again, if I go to 3, right view, I don't see it. Control 3, I'm back at the left side. So I'm now going to hit the top view. And you can see that I've got a dotted line through here, and it says edge loop, although the writing is flipped around a little bit. So I'm just going to mouse over here and go Control R, click to accept, and that's pretty central to what we need to do. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be mirroring this. I'm going to be box selecting that side, and again, make sure you're in wireframe, box select, so you get the top row of vertices and the bottom from 7, and I'm going to hit X, delete vertices, and that gets rid of that whole half. With that half still there on my 3D cursor right there in the middle, I haven't moved it. I'm going to come over to the modifier tab, and I'm going to choose mirror. All right, it's mirroring in the x-axis. I want to turn on clipping, and that's going to keep any of my vertices in the center joined to the mirrored side. And then I'm just going to start manipulating this, and I only have to do it on this side, and it will be mirrored over to that side. So once again, using box select, I'm going to go B, I'm going to drag a rectangle around, let go, and I'm going to push these in. All right, and start zooming in a little bit. And again, it's not going to follow exactly, and I don't want these to cross the center or anything. There's a little bit of a gap in between. All right, so now I'll grab these ones, actually deselect those other ones, box select those, pull them in, and it will look a little bit straight and not curved, but we'll deal with that because we'll put on a subdivision surface. I shouldn't have to do much more than grab these and pull them in, and I pretty much have the shape already of the rowboat. Okay, let's deselect and come out of wireframe and look at that. All right, so there it is so far. All right, well, now with my 3D cursor still in the middle, I haven't moved it, I'm going to select that vertex, this one, and this one. And I want to hollow this out, all right, so you could sit in the rowboat. So I'm selecting those 3 vertices. I'm going to hit X, delete vertices, and now I have a hollowed out boat. All right, with my 3D cursor still there, I am going to create sort of the rounded bottom part of the boat. And in order to do that, I'm going to be pulling these vertices right here into the middle. And what I want to do, however, is I want to switch over here to my pivot point to the 3D cursor. So my pivot point is right there. And then when I select these vertices right there, if I pull them in, they'll all sort of come along that 3D cursor. All right, so if I do that and then I come back, I'll get this kind of shape. Just wondering if maybe I want that back one too. Ah, Jesus, too far. Let's see. Let's go in the history. Redo. All right. Let's go in here and see if I can just back out of that by one. Will let me out? Won't let me out. So I'm going to grab that one and try pulling that in a bit too. All right. I should have gotten all of them at the same time. Or those back ones there. All right. And that's basically what I'm going for. If you wanted to, you can play around with the shape of this. If you don't like that and you really feel, oh, that's the center one. See, that won't move. If I was to grab this and I pull it out, if I like that shape a little bit better. So you can adjust the shape to your liking, but that's basically what it is so far. Okay, let's start saving here. Let's call this rowboat video, all caps. All right, that's cool. In models, yeah. All right, cool. All right, so far so good. I'm just going to close that mirror modifier there, so it's not applied, it's just closed. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to go back into edit mode, and I want to start separating these pieces out so that I can work on them individually. So I'm going to select this back piece, and I'm going to, that will of course select the mirror as well. I'm going to hit P and separate by selection. And what you can see now is that's a whole separate piece, the back piece, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to come over to this front piece here, and I'm going to select this, and that will also select that piece right there. P, separate by selection, so you see I got the whole front piece there. Back into edit mode, one more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select these 4 faces right there. P, separate by selection. So now I have everything on its own, even the bottom. Okay, I didn't have to separate that. That was already a piece. Once I separated everything out, the bottom was left as another piece. Okay, cool. So that's what we have so far. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to select that side, and I want to work on that side, and I don't want to work on anything else. I want to hide everything else. So now, if I select everything and I go H, it hides everything. Alt H brings everything back. If I select one thing and I say I want to isolate just that, I want to hide everything else. Instead of going click on this one and going hide, and this one and going hide, Alt H. I can just select the one I want to work on and go Shift H, and everything else is hidden. Back into edit mode, and let's look from the side here, and I'm going to put in 2 edge loops, 1, 2. And accept. That will give me 3 rows, sort of like the wood. All right, that's going to be essentially what I'm going to be doing in a bit. In fact, let's get rid of this display here, the grid. Got to display grid floor there. It's a little bit easier to work on. All right. Now, this does not look very smooth yet, like a rowboat would. So we're gonna deal with that in just a second. If I was to simply, in object mode, add a subdivision surface modifier, it would go like this. And that's not quite the effect that I want, so I'm going to get rid of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift, Alt, and click this top edge, and that's going to get the whole edge. Whereas if I just Shift and click, I just get that piece, right? I'm going to Shift and Alt and click. Shift and Alt and click. Shift and Alt and click. I've got all of the horizontal edges, but I also want this front one. Shift, Alt, and click that one, and this one. And what I'm going to do is I am going to make these edges sharp edges. All right, so that when I put the subdivision surface on, it's not going to deform it very much. It'll be smooth, but it'll be still, like a rectangle. And I'll show you what I mean. To do this with those edges selected, all these horizontal ones and the 2 sort of vertical ones at the end, I'm going to hit N to bring up the side panel, scroll to the top, and down here where it says Edges Data, I'm going to change the mean crease. I'm going to drag it up to 1. N to close that. Now, if I now go into object mode and add a subdivision surface, I'll make it 3 and hit smoothing. You can see it's smooth, but it's still straight. Okay, so let's save at that point. Time out for a second. My daughter's almost 2 years old, and she's in bed, and sometimes she cries at night, and my wife and I, of course, go take care of her. Just came from the doctor today. My wife is 20 weeks pregnant, so we've got a baby boy on the way, so I have a girl and a boy. So, not much time for music. We're doing Blender at night when we can, for now. All right, anyways, now that I've got that done, I've applied the subsurf and smoothing, and you can see that it's nice and smooth, but it certainly doesn't look like planks. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into edit mode, and remember, this is happening on both sides, okay, because it's mirrored. What I need to do is I need to separate these out so they look like planks when I UV map them. So you'll see what I mean in just a moment. So I'm going to Shift, Alt, and click that edge and go V. That allows me to separate it from the other parts. Let's do another one. Let's see, did I get the whole thing? I might. Sometimes with this color I can't tell, so I'm going to Shift, Alt, and click that, V. Can't do that one. Let's go back up here and try that V there. Now I should have that piece separated out, so that will separate that from the top, okay? And if I do this one, that should separate that one out as well from the bottom. So I now have these pieces separated out. And I wonder if there's any other way I can show you that better. I don't really think so. I think that's good enough. But what I'll end up having now, sorry, back in edit mode, is this row is separated from this row and from this row. All right, by doing that technique. Of course, the sides are still paper thin, and so now we're going to see something really cool. All right, I've got the mirror on. I've got the subdivision surface. I'm going to go to Add Mirror, Solidify, and look at that. You start to see that effect. So I'm going to set this at minus 0.02. I'm going to have them come out. All right, and you'll see why that's important. In fact, I'm probably going to go more than that. I want them a bit thicker. So 0.0. Let's try 0.04 for now. And I'm also going to add a bevel, and that's going to help as well, especially at the ends there. But we may get some weird effects, so I'm going to switch this to, first of all, I'll say 3. All right, poly count's going to go up, and we'll try angle, maybe 70, so that we get a nice effect with that. I'm not applying any of that yet. All right, so now with that done, that's it for the moment. So I'm going to go Alt-H and bring everything else back. And I'm going to start working on the other pieces. And I want to add a similar modifiers to this paper thin back piece, which is still mirrored. So what you do is you select that piece and then shift and select the next piece that has all the modifiers you want. Well, it's going to actually maybe have the subsurf that I don't need, but I'm going to add most of them. All right, so I select the back and then shift and select that, and then I'm going to go Control L and choose modifiers. Now you'll notice this, turned into a circle. That's because, if I select it again, that's because the subdivision surface, which is right here, is on, and I don't want that, so I'm going to delete that, but I do want to keep the other modifiers. And then what I can do is I'm actually going to, it's easier if I just go ahead and apply that mirror. So I'm going to do that, and then you'll notice that my transform tool is way over here. And by the way, we should switch back to median point. And with this selected, I'm going to set origin to geometry. And then I can just manipulate this a little bit better. I might want to pull it in a bit. And I might need to adjust these. That's fine. You imagine this thing is nailed and glued together. I think I'm going to leave that. It's debatable if I want that much bevel on it, though. Where's the bevel? I did 3. Let me just see if I might feel better about that much bevel, although I don't know if it'll be much different. But I'm pretty happy, I think, with that for now, so I'm just going to leave that. Let's come out to the front. Let's just select the front piece, and I'm going to do some more work on this, and then shift and click the sides. Control L, modifiers. That'll put all the same modifiers on this one, but I'm going to get rid of the subdivision surface. That was the second one. And I think I'll get rid of the mirror. I'll apply the mirror, and now I can set origin to geometry. It's selected, and I think I'm going to try scaling it in the X a little bit, just to cover that gap. Here, let's hit the period key to focus in on that. Nothing was selected there. Okay, let's just have a look at this thing here. Now, of course, I can hit smoothing if I want. Maybe I'll make it a bit thicker too. Scale this in the Y, like that. Pull it back a bit. And I think I want it a little bit taller. I don't know for sure. Now, it's going to look weird because you see this weird part of polys, this flat thing in this. That's because of the solidify, which is really causing that. If I take it off, it's really just that. All right, but I can still work with this. I can select just these top edges, that one and that one. All right, and let's say we go from the left side, and I just hit G. I can pull it up to sort of match the diagram a little bit more. Do that kind of thing. Let's go out of edit mode and just have a look at that. All right, so there's that piece. I might want to put another edge loop in here. No, that's not going to do anything, I guess. All right, we're not going to do that. Once again, this is the question of, do I want that much bevel? Maybe I don't. Maybe I want it a bit flatter. Like that. It's not as round. Okay, so that piece could be at the front of the boat. Okay, cool. And yeah, it looks all right. Okay, and then it's just the base here. So let's try it with the subdivision surface and see how that works. Although probably we'll get rid of that. So let's select the bottom and then the sides. Control L, modifiers, and let's try it without the subdivision. So I did it on the wrong thing. Select the bottom, turn off the subdivision surface. Is smoothing on? There, put smoothing on, and that looks okay. What we probably have to do is adjust its position a bit. I'm going to look from the bottom, Control 7, and for this piece I find I tend to have to put in some edge loops, although maybe I'll apply the mirror to that. I think that's probably a good idea, just to apply it. And then we can see. So for example here, maybe I want to pull it out, so I'll put an edge loop there. Maybe I should. What I need to do actually is go ahead and apply the solidify. Do I like the thickness? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to apply the solidify. Then it will be a little bit clearer what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. What I'll do is I'm going to go Control R, put an edge loop, and I think I'll do this in vertex and in wireframe so that I can just box select there and box select there, and I can scale these in the X just a little bit out like that. Try that and see how it looks, see if we're blocking the bottom. We're not going to see the bottom from there, we're just going to see it from the boat like that. I can take the whole thing and see this piece looks like it's sticking out a little bit, so I can grab these two vertices here and box select these two, and let's scale in the X, just bring them in a little bit. I can bring them up too. You know, I'm not working in the mirror now, so I've got to do it on both sides. Flies crawling around on me. Let's see how it looks. Maybe these ones back here. I'll try just pulling it up a little bit like that. These ones and these ones. Oh, we do have a fly in here. Go, 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 go. All right, let's try that. Pull the whole thing up a small bit. There. Almost got what I need. All right, I'm going to put another edge loop there, and I'm going to scale in the X a bit, so hopefully I don't go over the sides. All right, I'll put another one up here. I'll scale this in the X. I'll hold Shift, so I move in smaller increments. Let's see if I got what I need. Okay, just basically like that, and then I'll have sort of a plane probably to represent the water. Okay, cool. So let's go back into top view here, and let's go into wireframe, and you can see that I've got some seats here. All right, let's actually, if I get out for a second, let's hit, if I select that, H, you can see it says seat there. So there's a seat there and here and one at the front. Alt H to bring that back. Okay, so with my 3D cursor right there, that's fine. I'm in median point. I'm going to go Shift A and mesh plane and then pull it back. All right, go into edit mode, and I'm still in wireframe, and I'm going to scale it in a little bit like this and scale it in the Y. And position it a bit better. And again, it doesn't have to follow the diagram exactly. This is going to take a little bit of manipulation. I'm going to bring it up. Now, the one thing, I'm going to go into solid mode. You want to watch out is to not have this thing like right over that, you know, maybe above it. Maybe I'll have this back one there, in which case I'm going to have to scale this in the X until it sort of makes contact there, like that. And these ones I'll select and I'll scale these in the X, like that. But the boat slopes, so I'll slope that in a second and select it all. E to extrude and pull it down a bit to give the seat some thickness, like that. And then I'm going to go in again, and now I'm going to grab those vertices, and it doesn't have to be the same on both sides really. I just want them inside, like that, and this one sticking out, so I'll pull that. So just, you know, manipulate it where you need to. Do that kind of thing, and this one can come in, and this one's just showing through that one like that. I'm going to select it all and go Control N. I think my polys were flipped. Let's have a look at that. All right, now I realize that now that I'm going to angle this down, and I'll do origin of geometry, that's going to change. So I'm going to do that now. Rotate in the X, and I'm just going to do it like that. It's actually a little bit straighter. And maybe I don't like these back ones that much yet, so I'll just see if I can grab both of them. Box select, I think I can get them both. And I'll just push them in a bit to the top one and probably stick through. So let's come back over here and I'll grab that one. That might be the top one anyhow. I'll do that. And that one's probably all right. Let's have a look at that. Now I'm probably going to have to do a few more manipulations because I'm going to put those same, actually no, you know what, I don't think I'm going to copy them. I think I'm going to separately put a bevel on this one. Okay, we'll put a couple of segments on there and I'll drop it down so it looks realistic for a piece of wood. And yeah, that's all right, I guess. Okay, let's have a look from the top and in wireframe, make sure that we're still relatively true to the diagram. That's pretty good. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take that Shift D, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to bring it forward and go back in wireframe and position it up in this region. I'm going to use the same size, I'm just going to manipulate. Okay, I'm going to solid view and you can see these ones, they're not making contact. And I think I want this one lower down actually. Maybe I'll have this one down, well, maybe not much lower. Now that I think about it, it's down there. How's that going to look? It's too low. So I'll have it there. Okay, so I'll go back into edit mode and I'll grab box select these. I'll box select all of them. No, not that. There we go. And we're going to scale this in the X until it touches. And we're going to look on both sides. This one too much. There we go. And let's, what about the front ones? Let's see how it looks there. Pretty good, pretty good. I don't like the angle though, I realize. So we're gonna rotate in the X. I want this one straighter. And that may change things. Does it? Not particularly. So that's okay. Cool. All right, let's take that, Shift D, bring it forward. All right, and let's have a look from the top in wireframe. And you can see I got this piece here. So maybe for this one we can change this. Let's go in edit mode. Select it all. Let's scale this in the Y. Let's make it bigger, even like that. And then let's scale this in the X and bring it in. We'll do something like that for the moment. All right. Oh yeah. And where do we want this thing? Well, we're going to put it up here. Okay, so let's just start getting those edges in. Okay, box select those, box select those, scale in the X till they just disappear. Okay, cool. Box select these, scale in the X. Right off to the side. I think it's angled, and so we got to do more work. Rotate in the X, get it there. All right. Front, I think, still looks okay. We don't have too much work to do. All right, box select these guys and pull them in. Yep. And box select these guys and pull them in. All right. How's that? Okay, cool. Now, do these guys have smoothing on them, and do I want smoothing? I think I do. I'm just thinking I might want to do more with this, like that. So just come back and touch it up wherever you want, wherever you feel you need to. Just so that they disappear. Okay, that one has smoothing on it, and this one, make sure it's got smoothing on it. Okay, we'll see if I like that effect or not. All right, there's our rowboat right there at that point. We can come over here and put on, under shading, we can put on ambient occlusion just to give it a little bit of shadow, make it look a little cooler before we start texturing this. Now, you could put a lip around the whole thing if you wanted. I didn't in my diagram here, in my render here, and so I think I'll just stay true to this, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I guess we're ready to texture this thing. So let's just let's do some easy ones first. Let's isolate this and go Shift H. All right, so there it is. I'm not going to move it or anything. I'm going to go into edit mode. And here's the thing. I've only got a bevel on this, so that's just fine for texturing. So I'm going to go into edit mode, like I said, and in edge selection, I'm going to select all these vertical edges and all these other edges. That and that one. And that one and that one, and that's it. And I'm going to go Control E, mark seam. All right, just like that. And that's pretty much done right now. So I am going to split my screen by pulling on these diagonal lines, hit T and T, and switch this over to a UV window. I'm going to open an image that I want to use, my wood. All right, so you just find some texture on the internet that will work for you, like from CG Textures. And I'm going to use this wood. No, I'm going to use this wood, which is the same wood I used in my previous render. I'm going to click on that and open it, and then it's going to open it into the UV window. With this thing selected, the seams marked, and everything selected, I'm going to hit U, unwrap, and it's going to do that. And that's going to be just fine. We may adjust that in a minute. If I switch this over to material view, I don't see the wood on here yet. That's because I have to do a little bit more work in the node editor to set something up. So I'm going to switch over here to node editor. I'm going to hit N to close this, and there's no material, so I'm going to click new with this thing selected. That creates a default sort of material on this, but what I want is an image. So I'm going to go Shift A, texture, image texture, and drag it up here, and I connect this color dot to that one. And there's a change there. It's kind of like gone dark because there's no image selected yet. I'm going to come in here, and it's in memory because I opened that wood texture in the UV editor, and I'm going to find it. There it is, and now I see my wood texture on here. I can come back to the UV image editor, and then I can move this over here. I can go G, and I can move it and decide what position I want. I'm actually going to hit S and scale and do it something like that. Yeah, I think I like that. If I go back into object mode now, there's my seat. I may not want that part there, so I can go back into edit mode and I can G and I can move it. Maybe maybe I scale it a bit more. Like that. Maybe there. Let's see how that looks. I just don't want to have too many pieces. That's 5. Nah, that's too many. So let's scale it, make them a bit this way in the UV window. Maybe I'll go back to this. And you can move it to different positions. There we go. That's pretty good for what I want to do. Oh, I got that piece. All right, so maybe we don't like that one either. Just scale a bit and see if we can get rid of that. How's that? Is that the one? That's probably the one. Let's go Alt-H and bring everything back. And you can see I've got that wood plank in there. All right, let's do the same for this piece. Let's select it, Shift-H to hide everything else. I've still got the wood in there. Let's go into here and let's select that edge and this one. And if that color is too stark, you can't see it, just go back to solid view. This one, this one, this one, this one, and then all the other edges really, just to open this up. I think I got them all the edges. Control E, mark seam, U, unwrap, puts it there. Let's go back to the material view. I don't see it. Okay, I gotta go to the node editor, make a new material, and do the same thing. Shift A, texture, image texture, connect it, select the wood, and let's see. Let's go back to the UV image editor. Now the one thing is, I might want to, if they're similar size pieces, I might want a similar number of planks. I don't remember if I used 3 or what, so I'm going to go Alt-H to bring the other one back and see how similar this is to the other one. We got 3 and 3. 3, does that look okay? That looks okay. This one could have like, yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go back to solid. Shift-H. Let's use the period key to zoom in on that one. Only the bevel on this again. We'll have to do some different things soon for the ones with other modifiers on them. Let's select all the edges of this though. And just cut it right open. Okay, there we go. Right. Control E, mark seam, U, well, not that. Get out of there. U, unwrap. Okay. Material view, node editor, new material, image texture, color to color, select the wood. Back to the UV editor and scale it to you like it. And position it, G. Let's try that. That's going to probably look okay. Alt-H to bring everything else back. All right, that looks all right. Let's do another easy piece. Let's do the back. Shift-H, period key to focus on that. Solid shading. Now, this one has a mirror on it, so we need to apply that mirror. Okay, apply the mirror. Don't worry about the bevel. Okay, now select that. Now really, if I wanted to, I could get rid of this. That line does not, I could go X, dissolve edges, and it doesn't matter anymore. It just makes it easier. All right, Shift Alt, and click all the way around there, and all the way around the back. And these things. Oops, that one. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay, cool. U, unwrap, material, new material, texture, image texture, and the same steps. Oh, I didn't connect it. Oh, I didn't connect it again. Come on, there we go. What am I looking at? If I want, I mean, I can go Alt. I guess I can't from there. I can go Alt H and bring that all back, and then I can go into it and look. One thing is, I think I want to rotate those. Let's go back to. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if I can. What can I do? Let's try rotating this. And I'll just do that. I think I want it going in that direction anyhow. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to worry about the back right now because of where I'm going to be rendering from. So with that done like that, maybe that's still too big though. So let's try scaling. Okay, and just positioning. Let's try that. Alt H and bring it back. I think I like it like that. I'm not sure I like this dark piece of wood, but I think it's okay. Let's try the other pieces and see. In particular, let's try these. All right, now for these, I am going to have to apply some modifiers. So mirror, done. Subdivision surface, done. And solidify. Leave the bevel like that. Okay, I'll go into them. And yeah. This part is a little, what I want to do, is a little trickier. I've got to see if I can select all that, and I'm going to hide everything else and mark the seams on this. So this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to go Shift H and hide everything else of that object. And I'm then going to try to mark the seams as best I can on this guy. You know what I'll do is I will just take these and I'll go Shift H. I'll do that and I'll go back in here, and then I got everything else hidden as well. All right, so I got to go around on all of these on all sides. I don't know if that helped me at all. And it's tedious, but now do I have everything or do I not? Am I missing that piece? And that piece. And that piece. Okay. All right. I applied the mirror, didn't I? All right. So well, that's okay. I'm going to do the mirror again. Perhaps. What am I doing? Shift E. Nope. Control E. Mark seam. Okay. Alt H to bring those other guys back. Select a piece of that. And Shift H. Here we go again. All right, so just going around and getting all those edges. The bottom one here, back to the back part. That one, not that one. This. I think I got everything I need. Control E, mark seam. Good. All right, Alt H, on to the next one. Okay. Select the piece, Control L to select everything linked to that part, and Shift H to focus just on that one. Deselect, Shift Alt and click those edges all the way around as we did before. So I applied the mirror, didn't I? And now I may have to reapply the mirror because I don't think I really wanted to do that yet. I don't have the other side of the boat. There we go. Control E, mark seam. Cool. Okay, so we have that. So only one side is done. I've got my 3D cursor there. Now to make up for that with those marked, I'll go in here and let's do Alt H, by the way, and bring everything else back. Let's select a piece of that, because these ones aren't marked. Select a piece of that, select a piece of that, X, delete vertices, come back here, add the mirror again, and put it up. Was it there? Let me double check that. And that, okay, so they should all be marked. Now, I'm gonna apply that mirror now, leave the bevel like that. And now we are ready to go, right? We are ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna go into edit mode and I'm gonna hit A, U, unwrap, and then I'm gonna get that, all right? I'm gonna go into material view and let's go with the node editor like we were before. New material, image texture, color to color, wood. Now I'm going to have a look at this. Let's go back to UV editor. Give myself a bit more room here. Let's actually look at it there. Well, you see that effect? Not bad right there. But I can see if I don't like that, I can scale these. Let's just see, it's a little bit hard to tell what I'm looking at, but not too bad. Let's go back in. Oh, select it all. G. G, I can move them. Let's see if I like it there a little bit better. I get that line, don't like that, so let's move that. Let's see what that looks like. There. I liked it where it was before. Where was it? It's just a matter of playing with it until you get an effect you like. I'm going to stick with that. All right, so we're not here all day doing that. Let's go Alt H and bring everything else back. Okay, so we got that part done so far. Very nice. Let's do the bottom, and let's go Shift H. And for this guy, I think I'm just going to we'll do this. We'll do the same thing. Okay, I'll just leave the. Hopefully, I can see everything with this color. I may not be able to very well. So I will switch back to solid. It makes it a lot easier. That. There we go. I think I got everything. Okay, Control E, mark seam. Everything, U, unwrap. And we'll go back to material. Sort of cheating with this one. I guess with all of it, but node editor. Scroll it over here. New material, and the same. Okay, scroll over here. UV image editor, and for this one, I'm going to scale. So it looks like I've got a few planks down the middle. How many do I need? Let's try that and see what it looks like. Maybe 4. Let's go Alt H, bring it back. Okay, hopefully it looks okay. All right, cool. Let's do this one. Shift H. What do we got here? Let's apply the solidify. And I seem to have that selected, this, this, this. There we go. That should be everything. Control E, mark seam, select it all. unwrap. And we'll go back to a material view and set up the node editor for this guy. New. Just rolling my mouse button to do that. Okay, now hang on. This one, I think I need to rotate this 90. How do I want this? Maybe something like that. H, let's give that a try. Okay, I see I got a funny piece right there, right? All right, so what if I do that? Can I put it in the middle? Will it look good? Nah, not particular. That could be just one piece. So let's put it over like that. Considering I'm going to render it, you know, like that. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Now, here's the thing. Let's select, say, a seat. Well, actually, let's start looking at this thing. Now, let's make sure we got a camera. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. First of all, we'll just put down a plane. We'll scale it way up, just like that. And I'll make it like blue or something. Okay. And then let's get a camera in there. And lock camera to view and 0 key to look through. Position, home button to go to full. Now, if I go Shift Z to do a render preview, looks like that. Looks pretty dark. All right. So we need to add some light, and I think what I'll do is I'll hit 0 to go to camera view. Just going to add a sun lamp, sun. Move it over here, out of the way, and we're going to change the size to, I'll try 3. I'll make it a little yellowish, and we'll make this 4. It may not be enough, but let's just have a look at that. All right, we're starting to see something. Boom, boom, boom. Let's try, I've got the sun selected, so let's, once again, let's look through the camera. Let's do Shift Z, and let's just rotate the sun. Let's see if we can get another effect here. And there's the shadow there. Okay. And I'm going to bring this up to, let's bring it up to 5 for now. Okay, the point just being that we can see stuff. That looks pretty already. Not sure about this line here. You can spend more time, you know. I'm just trying to get through this. Okay, now, yeah, what am I doing next? Oh gosh, let's take this board and let's go over here and let's look through the camera at that. Shift Z, you can see it. And let's go to the node editor on this, and let's add some glossy to this. I'm going to do it the real basic way, and that's fine. let's just do it. Let's go add a mix shader. Where's mix? Drop it in there. And let's add a glossy shader and drop it in there. And you see, okay, hold on. Let's just bring that back. You know, to some point that we like. And let's call this wood. All right. And then with that done, I could then select this and say wood for the material. That go on there. And it's got the wood material. And I go select that piece. Wood. All right. I know I'm just moving my camera view, but let's get a camera view. Select that piece. Wood. The back piece. Wood. And the front piece. All right, there. So that's what I got so far. Shift Z. Save. Let's have a better look at this guy. Like this. You could do a much better job using, I guess, color ramps and stuff, but it still looks pretty nice. In terms of bump, the lazy way of doing it, let's try that. What I was thinking of doing was in the node editor, under the wood, this is the wood material that I've been using. I could try this image texture. That. What if I just did, first of all, non-color data and took that and put in the displacement? Just at first. No, check that out, eh? That goes pretty crazy. And it does it for all of it the same. Right? You see that? And so what I was thinking was I would moderate this a bit. It's too much. By putting like a math power node in there. Just one sort of simple way of doing it, you know, for us simple people. So let's try that anyhow. Let's go to converter math, and then let's find power and shove that in there. And, you know, let's go like 0.1 first of all and see, you know, if we see something. If we still see that bump. You know? And 0.2. Too crazy, maybe? So maybe we leave it at 0.1. Okay, let's do that. Maybe that's the evil way of doing it. Maybe it's not right at all, but that's the way we're doing it for now. Okay, beginner's way of doing it. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It's not perfect. Okay, so let's scale that up. Let's get out of there and let's put, let's try an area light. Let's do it like this. Area. Let's bring it up. Let's make it square. So let's just increase the size of this like this. And we'll put it up here. Let's try over here. Rotate X. Let's tilt it. And it's at 100, eh? Emission in white. Let's try making it sort of more of a bluish. See what that looks like. Okay. I don't really think I want blue. I want like something weird. Let's try purple. All right, well now we see the effect, right? That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going to do right there. And I'm going to render it right there. And we're going to see how this thing looks. all right? Again, the simple way of doing things with, minimal node editor, which may or may not be a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up to render. In fact, maybe I'll show you what I would do. It's very simple. I'm going to bring this up to, say, 80%, so it's a decent size. I'm not going to worry about, I can switch to 16 and drag this down to 0 or something. I'm going to switch sampling to, say, I'm going to switch to 300. All right, I doubt I'm going to get much noise, but I'm going to click over here because I got 2.79. I can put on denoising. Let's save that. I'm going to go ahead and render it, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at it. Ta-da! Here's my sailboat. All right. I haven't done any post-processing on it. I didn't sharpen it or did any curves or anything like that, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, this line looks a little funny here. So, when you do it, you can spend a bit more time positioning the UVs and scaling them and stuff, but I think it looks pretty nice, all things considered. All right, so again, much thanks to BlenderBrit for his tutorial on how to do this, and good luck. See ya.